How's it going, guys? Anxious Cynic back again with another Mine-imator tutorial. So today we're going to do something that a lot of you probably already know, but I have gotten this question in the past and whatnot, so I figured we'd go ahead and cover it today, or this week, which is how do you build a scene right in Mine-imator? Let's just say you don't have Minecraft or schematics or something, and you're like, can I just build the scene that I want in Mine-imator itself? Well, the answer is yes. So let's just go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and bring in, let's just say, a grass block here to get started. So we've got one singular block, and let's just say we want to build this up off of the ground a ways. So I'm just going to come over here to our project properties. I'm going to go to our library, and we have our grass block here with the default texture, and we're going to click on repeat. And I'm just going to scale up the X, and let's just make it, I don't know, maybe about 25. And then we'll do Y. Make that about the same, and we're just gonna scale it up. As you can see there, we're gonna bring it up, let's just say about 15, so that way we're not working with that ugly default flat land there. So now we've got this going on, and we want to build a scene onto it. So what we're gonna do is see if we can build a quick little house here. So I'm gonna go and spawn in another block, and let's go ahead and sort this by name and have it go in, I guess, descending order will be fine. And we want to get, let's see, we want to find planks. So here we go, we want to get wood planks, and then I can of course change whichever one we want to use, but I'm just going to stick with some default oak here. And as you can see, we don't see that because it spawned in our ground here, which is no big deal. We'll just bring this up until we can see it, and it looks like, or actually, let's see if we can make this a little bit easier. I'm going to go ahead and zero out the position here, and I'm going to do something that I rarely ever do, which is I'm going to use the grid feature in Mine-imator. So I'm going to click on this, which is snap X, Y, Z values to grid, and by default it's at 16, which is the size of our block. So as you'll see here, as I bring up the Z, it will go in 16 pixel increments, and as you can see, our block is just kind of snapping into place, and that allows us to get this perfectly in position the way we want it to be, with no wishy-washiness or any finagling necessary. Alright, so this is going to be our floor, let's say, and we want to expand this one out as well. So let's just go ahead and make this let's go 7 by 7. It's just going to be a little square house here. Alright, so now that we've got our floor set up, we want to put up some walls, and we don't want this to be too square, so I'm just going to go ahead and bring in another wood plank, and we're going to have that come up right about here. I guess that looks about right to me, and we're just going to have this one come out a little bit differently. So let's go ahead and expand it. We do want it to be the same width, of course, probably. It also depends on how you're going to lay out your walls, because some of these may be overlapping the other. So one may need to be shorter and the other one a little bit longer, but we'll get to that in a moment. So we got this set up, and we're just going to bring it over here and line that up. That looks good to me, and we're just going to bump up the Z. How about 4 blocks? Is that super terrible? Looks okay to me. All right, and now we want to go ahead and, well, actually we need to parent this. I should have done that first, my bad. So let's go ahead and do that, and then we're going to zero out the Z here and then bump this up. And since we still have that grid size 16, everything is snapping into place pretty conveniently for us. So we're going to do that, and now I'm going to duplicate this, and as you can see, it remains parented, and I'm just going to come over here and make that wall. So of course we may want some windows and a doorway and whatnot, so we're going to have to bring in another wood block and go ahead and do this. And we could kind of build all this out of just single wood blocks and whatnot, but of course these repetitious blocks or repeating blocks kind of make a lot of this a little less tedious for us, but it also creates a little bit more repetition with having to create more and more pieces. So, do with that what you will. So for this one, we're just going to repeat it on the Y a few times, something like that. Looks pretty good to me. And we're going to, of course, have to parent this. Let's go ahead and do this. And we could be custom naming these. I'm not sure if I'll worry about it for this tutorial, but you know how it is. Let's bring that over. And let's bring it back. I think that was about right there, and like so. Is that working out? Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this and bring it up And since I don't want to go ahead and make another block, I'm just going to duplicate it a couple of times and do like that. So this is going to be just a like one long window here. What I can actually do instead of doing that, I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to duplicate this particular block here, which I believe is this one. So I'm going to duplicate it in our library, and I'm actually going to have it, let's bring it in real quick. So we're going to spawn it in, and let's go ahead and parent it. And there we go. So I want to have this one be our roof. And so what I'm going to do is actually repeat this one on the X like that. And that way I can kind of go ahead and use some of these blocks that I have expanded and then duplicate them and then make customizations. And that way I don't have to keep going up here and just spawning in a single block and starting from scratch every single time. So there we go. We got that. And we can actually bring this one and duplicate it and have it come over here like so. And then we need a doorway and whatnot. So let's go ahead and let's do one of these dang old duplication things again. So we're going to duplicate it. And we're going to churn off the repetitions here, and we're just going to have it, I think we need it to be about 2 on the Z. And then we're going to bring that in. And of course, we're going to parent it to our house here. And bring that up and over like so. So we can have it like that. That's probably where we're just going to go with like a simple kind of symmetrical design maybe. So we'll have that go there. We're going to duplicate this and bring it over here. We may want to have windows here as well, so what we can do is just have another single block actually. So we'll bring that in. I'm gonna go ahead and parent it just like so and come up and over. I don't really know if this is gonna be like a really good house design, but you know, it'll be something. So there we go, there's our door space and whatnot. All right, so let's go ahead and bring in some glass. Come here to the G's and we have glass, and I think, yeah, you can do glass panes, but I'm not really sure if those are going to work ideally due to the way that a single block spawns in. So we're going to try just using a regular glass here. You can experiment with the pane if you want, but we're just going to go with this for now. And I'm going to go ahead and parent this to our house blocks here. I'm going to bring it up and over. Since these are singles, this is perfectly fine for us. So we go like that. And then I'm going to duplicate and bring that one over here like so. And we want to do the little trick again. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this glass block. And on this one, we're going to repeat it on the, what is it, the Y or the X? I don't recall. We'll figure it out once we get in there. I'm just going to go ahead and repeat on the X. And I'm going to spawn it in by clicking this button here. And it looks like that was the wrong one, of course. So let's go ahead and spawn that. Repeat that like that, and okay, hang on. All right, here we go. Now we're just gonna parent this, of course, and come down here to our glass there, bring it over. Let's get back over here so we can see what we're doing. Come like that, and like so. And it's not quite repeated enough, maybe 5, and there you go. You got your walls, you got your glass, and everything. All right, so the final touch is we need a door. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be in our blocks here, and we need to go to the D's, I presume. All right, so apparently doors are listed by the type of wood they're made of, so we're just going to go with a standard oak door. So let's see if that's in the O's. Here we go, oak door. And there we go, we got that right there in that preview, and we're going to spawn that in. And we're going to take this oak door, of course, and parent it, if I can select it. There we go, we're going to parent it to our main thing here, and just gonna bring it up and over, and then we can rotate it. Of course, our rotation point is not the way we want it to be, so let's go ahead and give this a custom rotation point. Let's bring this over. This is probably going to be what, about 16 maybe? It kind of depends on where you want it to hinge on, so we'll just go with that for now. Maybe about 16 on this one as well, I believe. And then we can kind of bring this down, -90. And then we can bring that over. And as you can see, this is kind of snapping it too far over. So I'm going to reduce our grid size to 8 because I think it's going about half a block there. And that looks about right to me. So as you can see, our door is actually kind of in the block here. It's not level like it would be in Minecraft. Personally, I kind of like that. So I'll probably leave it. But of course, if you wanted to change that, you can either get rid of your grid and just move this around. Or, like I did before, we can reduce that. I think it's probably going to be 4 because it looks like it's in between the block already. So if I do that, that's pretty close. It's not actually 100%, but I digress. So you can experiment with that and kind of see how you want it to go. All right, so we've got the walls, we got the doors and the windows, and now we need a roof technically. We don't want to just have this plain boring thing going on here. And as you can see, our little house rig is getting a little bit complicated, but we'll just keep going. All right, so we want to do stairs. Maybe we'll do cobblestone. Let's see if we can find some cobblestone stairs. There we go. So let's go ahead and create that and bring it in. And let's see how we want to do this. So we're going to come over here, maybe, and bring it up. Let's have it come down on the side like that. And we want to have this, of course, repeat. So we're going to come over here, cobblestone stairs, repeat. And I think this is going to be on our X, something like that. And this actually, you know, of course, when you're in Mine-imator, you can build it however you want. This is not lining up block for block how it would in Minecraft. So that's perfectly fine. You can go with something a little more customized. But of course, if we wanted it to, we might have to go up to 9. So it's a full block on either side. Whatever, you know, you can use your best judgment to sort that out for yourself. Now, unfortunately, we can't make these stairs do with the repeat the way we do with other things because we need them to kind of stack in an angle or whatever. So you can see here when I do this, it basically just creates squares of that. So what we have to do is actually repeat this. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to make the roof kind of its own thing for now. So let's go ahead and parent that. So we have these, and let's go ahead and zero out that position. We're going to bring this up 1 and over 1. So now we can begin to stack our stairs for our roof here. So now that we've got that one parented, of course, I can duplicate it and it remains parented each time we do that. So I'm going to just keep doing this, duplicate and bring over like so. And then now that we have this set up, I think that's about halfway. We may have to do something for the middle one. I'm going to duplicate this top one, the root of our roof here, as you may call it, I guess, the parent of all these other ones. I'm going to duplicate that, and that's going to duplicate the whole thing. And then I can rotate this. Let's actually turn on the grid for our rotation. And we're just going to do like this and snap it to 180 degrees, and then we're going to bring this over. Something like that. All right, so we have this gap in the middle here due to the size of the house that we built. So all we have to do is just spawn in a cobblestone block or maybe a half slab or something like that. I'm just going to use a cobblestone block. And what I'm going to do is actually parent this side to the other one. So that way we'll have that like so. Then I'll parent this one to the main one as well. And of course that messed up the location of this stuff. So let's go ahead and do like that and then bring that back over like so. All right, just remember when you parent things, you have to check the positions because then they become relative to whatever you parented it to. All right, so we're gonna have this one come over here and come up like so. That looks pretty good to me. And then we're gonna do the repeat thing yet again. So repeat, and I think this one's gonna be on the X probably 9 times, just like the other ones. Just like that, man. And of course, you know, you can go a little bit beyond, you know, the Minecraftiness and have that stick out a little bit, which I think looks kind of interesting. So probably dumb and terrible, but I'll leave it like that. And of course, you can also move it a little bit, you know, un-Minecraft-like. Let's have this go about half a block, and then I can bring it up like so. And then you get this little nifty look there. So, yeah, maybe we'll do that. I don't know if it looks good, but that's what I'll go with. All right, so now that we've got the roof done and everything, we're going to go ahead and it's going to kind of screw us up a little bit probably, but I'm going to parent this to the main root of the house here. And then we're going to go ahead and bring that back up and reposition it. And I think that's about right. So now that we have all this together, all we would have to do is grab this one and we can move our entire house, which is pretty good. That's what we want. All right, so of course we need to fill in these gaps. So what I'm going to do is try to go ahead and reuse some of these other blocks that we have from building the house. So what I'm going to get first is the double ones here. So I'm going to duplicate that and I'm going to bring it up and over like so. And I'm just going to duplicate it again. Let's go down here so we can see what we're doing. Duplicate that again and bring it over here. And that looks pretty good to me. And what I can do, I think if I select both of these, I can duplicate. And then I'm going to drag over. Whoops, didn't mean to rotate there. Okay. And there we go. We should be able to bring that right there. And we have both of those duplicated just perfectly. And I mean, you could leave it like that. That's actually kind of a cool look. So on and so forth, you know, you could do the whole thing with a customized roof like this, or you could just fill it in the way we did the others. Of course, we have this little half slab area up here, but you know, you could just extend one of these. You could even scale it if you had to. Whatever you need to do in order to remedy that. Just as an example here, let's go ahead and duplicate that one and we'll bring it over like that. And since this is way up here and you're not really going to see it, you can go to the scale. Let's bring that down by clicking that button and then scale it up on the Z. Maybe about, what is this going to be, like 1.25, something like that. And it's a very, very minor scaling, so you don't really notice it too much, as you can see there. And it kind of gives it, you know, like a little offness of the texture. It kind of depends on what you really want to do, of course. But I'm just going to get rid of that and leave this as it is. I don't know why I think it looks bad, but I'm going to leave it like that because I think it looks interesting. It's like the roof has stilts that's holding it up. Anyway, of course, so we got our house built and we can animate it and everything. We've got the door and everything else. So one thing I want to do is actually kind of clean up this a little bit. So what I'm going to do is grab this and box select. So I'm just grabbing in an off area here and dragging, left clicking and dragging over. And with all those selected, I'm going to click on the folder icon, and that's going to compartmentalize all of those into a folder so we don't have to sit there and look at it. I'm going to do the same thing with these here. I'm going to just click and drag over them and grab them and bring them up and tack them right in once that folder's highlighted and let go. And that's going to put all those in that folder so we don't have all this stuff just sitting out here that we don't want to actually animate. I can do it with everything that I don't want to actually have to look at and deal with, even the roof here. So I'm going to do like that. And there you go. So you've got this whole like little house here, and it's all contained in that folder. And so like if we want to animate and we want to open the door, we can drop this down, and the only thing you really have to worry about there is the oak door, and you don't have to sift through all those blocks that we had to deal with. So it's kind of a little bit of a rigging tutorial, I guess you could say, but yeah. All right, we're going to do a couple of finishing touches. This tutorial is running much longer than I thought it would. I thought I'd get a lot more done, but we're just going to try to wrap this up real quick. I'm going to go over here to the scenery, and I'm going to bring in some of the scenery that Mine-imator actually comes with. So instead of importing from World, I'm going to go to Browse, and then you get this folder here, and you have Building at Structures, and then you have Nature, and you have Trees, and all these other different things. And I'm just going to go ahead and bring in, let's say oak tree number 2. I don't know why. And there we go. So I'm going to create that. And here we go. It spawned in our house, but that's perfectly fine. So we'll just have that come over here and put it right around over there, something like that, somewhere over here. And you can repeat that and have more, of course. So I'll just leave that to your discretion. I would do more to make it look good, but you can do that. And there's buildings and other types of trees and things like that you can bring in that Mine-imator already comes with. But for now, I want to actually bring in, let's see if we can find a grass block. And what I meant by that is actually this one here, just the actual grass, rather than an actual grass block. It is these like little dead bushes and the little grass thing there. So I'm going to bring that in and bring it out over here, bring it up so we can see it. And then you can actually bring in these little, pieces of grass, just like in Minecraft and whatnot. We could do the same thing with that. We can duplicate many of them or even go into the library here and repeat it. As you can see here, we can do like this and have a huge grassy front yard or whatever. I would probably just get, one or two and like kind of sporadically put them out there. But you can do that and have all this stuff set up like so. And I really encourage you to use this to customize the scene, like build a scene that's Minecrafty, but it gives you these little, just like what I did here with the top block. You can go out in ways that you can't actually do in Minecraft, or at least not vanilla Minecraft. So yeah, I would encourage you to just kind of play with that and have fun with it and create cool looking things and whatnot. And one final touch that I want to do here before we call it a day on this tutorial is go over here, and I want to go to the leaves. Oh, we landed right on it. All right, so what you can actually do here is you have the leaves block, and you could actually build a tree from scratch. You don't have to use the schematics if you want to have it more customized and whatnot. So that's a little note there as well. But I'm going to bring this over and just like you might do in Minecraft. You can bring this out. We're going to come over here to our library, and I'm going to repeat this, something like something like that, and bring it over. And of course, you could do this all around your house and have, you know, the hedges and whatnot, and you can do pretty much everything that you can do in Minecraft, and perhaps even a bit more in Mine-imator itself. You don't have to have Minecraft or a special world build or whatever. This might be a little bit more complicated and maybe possibly even more taxing on Mine-imator. I'm not really sure about that, but you can actually build a scene from scratch within Mine-imator itself. So that's pretty cool, and it's something I've gotten asked before, so I thought I would cover it for you guys today. And I might actually be using this technique for an upcoming tutorial to build a set for something else we'll be doing. So that's kind of what I wanted to do this tutorial for. Sorry if it seems like something a lot of you guys already know or whatever, but I just wanted to go ahead and cover it to prepare us for upcoming things. So I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And if nothing else, I hope it inspired you at least a little bit. And with that, I think that's going to be it for this tutorial, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe to become a citizen today. Share it with your friends and your family and your pets. And of course, if you want to help support me and support the channel more directly, the Patreon link will be in the description. But otherwise, that's it. So thanks for joining me, guys, and I will see you in the next video.